Alexandre Callay. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be with you this morning. We have heard a lot about data and also about discussions around the meaning of data. And personally, what I think today is not that we are missing data, is more that we are missing some understandings about the meaning of data. So this morning I will try to summarize what kind of information we have about television content and content from television available on other screens, and to show you that we already have plenty on our plates to work with, and that maybe what we are missing is time and the willingness to go deep into the data that is already there. So Eurodata TV started more than 20 years ago with the idea that television was content, and is still content today. We've seen that content is king, and that we are measuring the television audiences in the same way almost everywhere in the world, in more than 90 countries, and gathering audiences for more than 3 billion people on a daily basis. So if it's less than half of the humanity, but still it's 3 billion people, there is no other system covering such a large audience worldwide. We are gathering these people meter system data on a daily basis from 80 plus suppliers, Nielsen, Kantar, GfK, Video Research, IBOP, so all the official sources. So today I will talk about what's today the system allowing TV stations to evaluate the advertisement and also the content that they are buying and that they are putting on the screen. So the system that is currently in place. So I told you more than 5,500 channels available, measured through a worldwide panel of 138,000 homes. And very often we see that people are very alarmist about television. Even this morning there was someone saying that in the US there was a drop by 20-25% of audiences in April or March and April. And it's great to be here today because I suddenly have the opportunity to have someone saying something and having the data at the same time showing that this is not true. If you look to quarter one in the US in 2012, there was an increase of 1 minute compared to quarter one 2011. And it's an increase compared to 2010. So I know that many people are always thinking that television is about to die. When I started my career almost 20 years ago, people told me, oh, don't go into the television industry. You will have no future. And it was the same like 10 years ago. And when I came back to Eurodata TV 6 years ago, it was the same story. I mean, internet is everywhere. There is no more television. People are not interested in television. And we are still here watching television because television is great. And television has found a way to reinvent itself. And we all know that because despite the fact that we have multi-screens, the first thing we do when there's a good game or a good live event, we go and watch it at home, if we are at home, on the big screen. So this is not true. The television industry is not about to collapse. And I will share with you some figures. So if we look at the ad spend on television, we see that it is still 1/3 to 2/3, depending on countries, of the total ad spent on television in these countries, and it is increasing in most of the countries. If we look at the time spent on watching television, you have to know that in 2011 we had 6 minutes additional viewership worldwide, and of course there are huge differences from one country to another, from one continent to another. And if we look to Asia Pacific, for instance, where we include China. China is 1/3 of the total measured population in the world. You see that the television consumption is lower than in the other part of the world, and which is normal. I used to live in Indonesia. When you have 20,000 islands, it's almost impossible to have a panel covering 20,000 islands. When you are in China, you have a national people meter system, but there are still many countries where you cannot have a national people meter system. So we are not yet covering everywhere in the world, and also people are not yet equipped with more than with one screen sometimes and 2 screens. So there are still a huge room for increase of consumption with the development of basic equipment, just having a screen. If we look at where we go in terms of measuring television consumption, we see that as of today, there are only 21 countries measuring time-shifted viewership. So it's the ability to watch television after content has been broadcast. So we have only around 700 million people who are delivering this information on a daily basis. And if we go to content, TV content also measured on PCs and screens, we see that there are, as of today, only 3 markets where it is a currency, a standard on a daily basis, where you can get the information about, okay, there was a show on the ABC or a show on the channel, and this is the audience on the internet. So we see that the roadmap for the television audience measurement is there. We have to move from 80 countries covered and measure with a people meter system to all of them with web TV measurement. If we look to the time spent by young adults, we see that there is again an increase within the last 10 years in most of the countries. So young adults are still watching television. And of course, if we look at non-linear TV, and I'm talking here about France only, we see that the young adults are watching more catch-up television on PC than the adults. There are 2 million people watching catch-up in France on screens, and half of these 2 million people are watching it on computers and laptops, while the TV set is coming in second position. And smartphones and tablets only represent 100,000 people on a daily basis out of 2 million and out of 16 million French people. So I was telling you that equipment is not there yet. You only have, let's say, half of the population in key markets with digital recording devices. So you see that there's a room there again to improvement. And what people are watching with time-shifted viewership, it's mostly series. There is a habit developing where people are watching more and more with delay. So up until now, we thought it was most of the audience was done within the next 7 days. And what we see is that within the next 28 days, you gain 10 points of audience. So it's really big. In many markets, the question mark is, okay, when will we have a people meter or a panel covering all the screens? So it's already happening in France, but in some other markets where with the Google initiative and related to mediometry, we are now measuring not only television together, but also PC, tablets, and mobile. So the people meter system is already taking care of today and also the future. So to go to final conclusion, you have several steps, and I've mentioned 4 steps in this presentation. The one which is today in most of the countries covering live, 2 time-shifted viewership is covered only in 21 countries. You have 3 countries where you also measure on PC, and now we start to have a global measurement with, like in France, measurement of all these devices together. So I'm really happy to be working in this industry. There was a question recently asking me if I will leave the industry. No, it's doing very well, and I really believe that internet is really helping this industry. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Running a bit behind time, so I'm just going to have one quick question for you. The 20% drop was me. I said that, so thanks. But no, it's okay. What I meant was that what we've seen in the US is a 20% drop in network television. So they had this 20% drop. But overall television is growing, so I totally get it. Very good. Okay. Excellent. You did the right thing.
Yeah, because the total television in the US is going up.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Okay.
I mean, I don't watch that.
No, but because, you know, on Twitter, there was already a tweet saying, okay, there is a drop. And I said, no, there is no drop on television.
Okay, so there's no drop in television overall worldwide. You're seeing a 1-minute increase, right? That's what you said in your presentation.
In the US, yes.
In the US?
Yes.
And the 20% drop that we were talking about was on network television.
And I will check that now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll talk later.
Okay, great.
Okay. Any questions from the audience? Great. Great presentation. Thank you very much.